So have you buckled up yet? Are you sure you have your seat belts fastened? For the fourth quarter for Star Wars Hot Toys, we're going to get into some waitlist predictions. What about the Tuscan Raider? What about Lando? What about Captain Rex? What about those 501sts? What about the Rogue One Shore Trooper? What figures are going to come out next? Is it really Ahsoka? Is it really the Clone Wars Maul? Is it something out of left field? Are we going to spill some coffee with an official announcement out of left field? And is the secondary market just absolutely bananas? Look, I've got my off-world Jawa egg juice in hand, baby. Let's dive into all of this right now. All right, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show, right here at 6 Scale Cantina. Ooh, has there ever been a better time to be a Star Wars fanatic and collect Hot Toys? You have to wonder. It's crazy right now, and really the fourth quarter has really just begun. We still got a lot more to go through here until the end of the year, and I think there's going to be a lot coming at us, and we're going to dive into a lot of it within this episode. But let's go to 6scalecantina.com, as we do with every episode of the Market Chart Show. And if you don't got 6scalecantina.com bookmarked, you may want to consider doing so. Not only does it have all the trends, whether they're going up or down, for Star Wars Hot Toys within the secondary market, but it has all the Star Wars Hot Toys news, as well as all the news, the latest updates, and upcoming shows and live shows for 6 Scale Cantina. But let's look at this biggest mover section. And holy smoke, you could take a look at some of these items here. And really, you could have a glance at this whole list, which is very telling. But let's start off with Commander Cody. And this particular piece is certainly, in my opinion, one of the best Hot Toys ever made for Star Wars. This figure is awesome. And I think some collectors are going to think that the Rex is perhaps even better than this figure. I have them both, and I can tell you that I love them both. And that Captain Rex is real sweet. Is real sweet. They did a good job. And so is this figure right here. And I'm pulling up some recent data on Commander Cody, which continues to just rise and rise within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. You can see right here, as I pull this up onto the screen, just back from October 15th, $440. $439.99. Basically $440. With free shipping, not including taxes. Wow. Seller with over 1,000 feedback. And you have to wonder, how high can this figure go within the secondary market in the short term? Is it possible this figure could breach the $500 tier range in the short term? It's certainly trending like it's going to. And let's actually go to sideshow.com and sort everything out for Hot Toys, best-selling wise. And one of the interesting things when you go ahead and do that, and this is pulling up onto the screen, is to see exactly where Captain Rex is sitting right now. And pulling this figure back up onto the screen. Wow. People have seen the reviews. They've seen the final production photos. And as more and more collectors continue to get their hands on this, the word's going to get out even more and more that this figure is dope. Deserves a swig of off-world Jawa egg juice. And look where it is, my friends. Look where this is. Sorting it out, everything, best-selling wise. Is it possible that this particular figure is going to overtake the Carnages there, the Carnage, and be the #1 selling Hot Toy figure? And I say, yes. This Captain Rex is hot. Certainly when you sort this out, just Star Wars, it's #1. And it's very interesting as well when you take a look at that Death Watch Mandalorian, which is the #2. And then you got both 501sts, 3 and 4. And there's Lando. Wow. Wow. I don't think people expected that with Lando. But don't underestimate the power of the original trilogy and the need to have this in the collection for a lot of collectors. Look at those Beskar Mandalorians. Look, wow. Wow. Crazy. And if I just tackle Star Wars here, there is all Star Wars. You see Captain Rex #1. So you have to wonder, is it possible that this Captain Rex is going to go on waitlist before the end of this year? And I think that there's some variables we have to consider when we're discussing that. But there is potential for that to happen. There's also potential where I could see this being in stock through January, through all of February. Is this going to be in stock in March? Absolutely not. That would give it a longer term, probably, than Cody. But I give this a yellow alert because the Commander Cody is just insanity right now in the secondary market. I just showed it to you. And right now in the market value chart, it's sitting at $427 and trending up. And even with a lot of the figures that are coming out that you could say would compete with this, really, the Clone Wars Maul is not going to compete with this Rex. Ahsoka is only going to complement this Rex. And I think that once Ahsoka comes out, it may put this Captain Rex over the edge. And when this hits waitlist, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's sometime in November, whether it's sometime in December, whether it's sometime in January, whether it's sometime in February, whether it's sometime in March, how high will this figure be in the secondary market? Is it going to be available for $255? maybe 30 bucks over that, maybe 285 to start off, maybe 300, maybe $300. Wow. Can you see it at $300? That would be interesting to me. But that would mean it would basically be way below this. And is it possible that the Captain Rex right here is going to be an instant $400 tier range figure the moment it hits waitlist? And I say yes. So, I give this figure a yellow alert because whether it sells out before the end of October or before the end of the year or before the end of February, it is 1000% going to be a very, very high-fetching secondary market piece. And more than the Solo Maul, and more than the Remnant Trooper, more than the Incinerator Trooper, more than the Death Trooper, more than the Rey and Dio, more than the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. It's going to be a $400 tier range figure right off the bat. So yellow alert, because if you're thinking that you could just wait forever on this, if you just wait the day past, you're probably spending at least 4 big ones, not including shipping, not including taxes, on this particular figure. Wow. For sure. We're going to study some more of these just look at that. I love the Captain Rex. It's an awesome figure. You got to see my crazy unboxing I did of that. If you're interested in becoming a Cantina insider, I do these horrid unboxings because I'm terrible at them, but it just kind of shows my enthusiasm. If you're interested in that sort of thing, you may want to consider joining the channel. But anyway, that just blew me away. Blew me away for sure. Let's go back to the biggest mover section instead of continuing to look at this figure, because I could look at it all day long. But you can see with some of these other ones here. How about Leia Bespin? And I warned about these Leias. And this is another figure that it's one of the best pieces that Hot Toys this figure is outstanding. It's outstanding. Just look at that. And just like the Hoth Leia, and just like the A New Hope Leia, this figure is starting to catch up to where those are slowly, but surely. And so is the Endor Leia. And I think that tells the tale on being able to predict if there's going to be a 5th and different OT Leia coming out soon. Because I say yes. Whether it's a bounty hunter disguise one from the beginning of Return of the Jedi, or maybe one with her hair down from on Endor when she was speaking to Luke, who knows? They have a wide variety that they could do. They can give you another Empire Strikes Back Leia, basically in the Hoth outfit, with the hair a little bit different from when she was running around Cloud City. After Han was frozen in carbonite. Pulling this up onto the screen. $350. Best offer expected, so probably could take 10, 15 off. Just back from late October. Not including the $25 in shipping, not including taxes. And this figure is getting increasingly harder to find at a reasonable price that is close to retail. And as a matter of fact, when you go to the market value chart at 6scalecantina.com and you go to that little search box and you just type in Leia, it's a real interesting story that gets told. Because you can see here all the Leias. Like that Bespin Leia here has now breached the $300 tier range and is $308 and rising. You can see below it, the Last Jedi Leia is $273 and rising. You can see above it, the Leia Endor is $284 and rising. And the Empire Strikes Back Leia Hoth, steady at $428, is starting to show some signs of trending up again. And forget about the A New Hope Leia. And while we're here, since we talked about Cody first, where is Cody? $427 and rising. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And both outstanding head sculpts. When you talk about the Leia Bespin, and you're talking about with Carrie Fisher, and you talk about Tamora Morrison with that Commander Cody. Oh, and the Hans. You see Han A New Hope or Han Stormtrooper. The Han 2-pack. And whether it's the Force Awakens 2-pack with Chewbacca, or whether it's the A New Hope one with Chewbacca, Han Solo, and even if it's the Solo version, the deluxe of Han Solo, all these Han Solo figures are trending up. And that's going to tell the tale for this Mud Trooper of Han Solo, which was trending down, and it's trending down here. It's really trending down from its astronomical mid-$400 tier range price into a more reasonable low $300 tier range price. But I think at the end of the day, the way Han Solo is going, no matter which actor is portraying it, I think that this Mud Trooper one's going to go back and be a $400 tier range figure. It's a trooper. You get a Han Solo head sculpt. Are you kidding me? I don't think they made too many of those either. And, wow. But Han in general, no matter which one. And, I've got all the Han. I've got all the Harrison Ford head sculpts. I've got all the Han Solo head sculpts, and they're just it's just off the charts right now, and especially with the Harrison Ford demand right now for some of these figures. And boy, how well would a Bespin Han or an Endor Han or a reissue of any sort of the original trilogy Han Solos do? When you look at the secondary market, I think it just tells the tale. And is it possible that Hot Toys knows that? I think they do. Continues to remain very, very high. You look at some of the other ones here on this list. How about the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian? Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, my friends, is on the move. And pulling some data up on the screen. You could look back here. From October 23rd, $380. Not including shipping, which puts it over $400, not including taxes. Wow, wow, wow. more heavy infantry. Mandalorian. And you could look back here from October 18th at another outstanding seller. Almost 475 feedback with 100% positive. And again, back from October 18th, $375 with 30 bids. And I predicted before that when this figure hit the $400 tier range and then dipped into the 300s, that it would go back up towards the $400 tier range. And you can take a look at it now. It is absolutely insane. And you have to wonder, is it possible that this will actually breach the $400 tier range once again? And I say, yes. And this figure is dope. I love this figure. And do I think we're going to get another reiteration of this figure? I really do. I think we're going to get another version of this figure. I don't think we're going to get the same version, because they wouldn't get me to buy it. And I mentioned it before that I thought Hot Toys would be very savvy in this regard. How would you get me to buy another figure, even if it's close? Put some different detail on it, some different markings, some different stuff that perhaps when this character, if this character shows up in The Mandalorian Season 3, which I believe that he will have. And then not only are you going to get collectors that missed out on this to get a more reasonably priced heavy infantry Mandalorian, you're going to get some collectors, such as myself, to pull the trigger again to buy another heavy infantry Mandalorian. And if you're wondering, well, how well would it do, Aries? Well, we were just at Sideshow.com. And you saw that the Death Watch Mandalorian, which is a grunt, for all intents and purposes. The other Mandalorians, some of them have speaking parts. If that one's doing well, just wait for some of these other ones right now, especially as we loom close to the book of Boba Fett, which is going to have some not only bounty hunters, some Mandalorians in it. For sure. Exactly where is a heavy infantry Mandalorian sitting? We'll take a look in just a little bit. Let's go through a couple more of these first in the biggest movers section. And how about Rey? How's Rey doing? Rey continues to rise, and rise even with all these figures that are getting released. You would think that some of these figures in the secondary market would get hit and they would come down. But I'm not seeing that for the real low-produced figures, and the figures, there's not a whole lot of availability for this Rey and Dio compared to some other ones. Same thing with Cody. Not a whole lot of people are selling their Codys. Not a whole lot of people are selling their Rey and Dios right now, the way that they are some other figures. And the head sculpt on this is, on the Rey. I've brought it up. Gosh, I mean, so many times. It's so good. I mean, just pulling it up onto the screen here. It's all these Reys are good. I've got all three of them. But this Rise of Skywalker Rey? Are you kidding me? Star Wars is getting popular, folks. Star Wars is Star Wars. It's world renowned. And it's back on the map. And I'm telling you right now, I've heard it from the Hot Toys Wizard. You're using this head sculpt. Darkside Rey is coming. Darkside Rey is coming. Told you that before in some episodes, because they could sell 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 of them. 4,000 of them. Easily. Easily. They do market research on that. That's why the Black Series came out. With a Darkside Rey. To be quite honest with you. Hasbro ain't stupid either. That's why they didn't make many Last Jedi figures and hardly any Rise of Skywalker ones. For the Black Series, but well afterwards, they made just recently this Darkside Rey, and you know, all I'm gonna say is, I know Howard Chan has said he's so glad he's done with the sequels, but remember, he said that before COVID. And I think probably right now, he's more done with COVID and is more interested in making money. And this has money all over it. You can just tell it's doing it in a secondary market. I can tell you here right now. Now, with a lot of listings, this showing it at a much higher price, and this one's listed for $340. And I can tell you here right now, and you see last one, the one that just sold on October 22nd, just a couple of days ago before this recording, went for $319.99, $320. And the figure just continues to move. I continually see it move rather than pulling up everything at this price. And really, when it comes to Rey, and it comes to the heavy infantry Mandalorian, we can go ahead and go to the market value chart at 6scalecantina.com. And staying with the Rey first before we get to the heavy infantry Mandalorian. Let's see where these figures are sitting. And I'll type in Rey, and we'll get the Rey and Dio figure. And you can see at the bottom of the list, $316 and rising. Wow. How about heavy infantry Mando? Let's type in heavy. And sandwiched in between the red Praetorian Guards TMS 010. $374 now. And trending up just $26 away from the $400 tier range, where I believe this figure will rest within the secondary market. Poor First Order Stormtroopers. Wow, and I mean, if you're looking for First Order Troopers, I think this is the time. I don't imagine it's going to stay this way, to be honest with you. Especially as Filoni and Favreau wind up tying those in future content. But you can look back here from October 19th. Going to this listing, which is real sad. 2 troopers. $180.50. Not including the $35 in shipping. Not including taxes. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's go to some more here and see what else is going on in the biggest mover section. Boba Fett 40th continues to rise, whether the vintage color one is showing signs of rising again. This ESB Boba Fett 40th continues to rise. This Snowtrooper from Empire Strikes Back, which forget about the video game 2-pack or whatever it is. I really feel that coming out with a Snowtrooper, Empire Strikes Back again, and possibly 40th anniversary packaging. They keep teasing it's coming soon. A Snowtrooper from the sequels. I don't know why they're showing that. Maybe it's a mistake because this, wow, Death Trooper Specialist continues to rise up. Luke Stormtrooper, everything Luke is hot. Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back 40th. A reissue, the second time it came out. Is it possible that it's going to come out a third time? And I'm telling you right now, and I brought it up in the last live show, that one of the figures that I really feel that is going to come out of left field is going to be the Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi with the head sculpt, much like they have in the quarter scale. And pulling this up onto the screen, I mean, sure, I actually can see Hot Toys reissuing the Empire Strikes Back one. I could see them coming out with the A New Hope one, especially the version within the Tarkin 2-pack. I could see them coming out with, and that with Tarkin, honestly. I could see them, obviously the Rogue One. I don't know. But I really feel they need a Darth Vader. There's not a Darth Vader available right now for Hot Toys. And I really feel like this is coming. And in 6 scale. And it wouldn't shock me if it was this year, before the end of the 4th quarter, to put this on the docket. And as far as they wouldn't put 2 Vaders up, because they're going to put up a Vader or 2 with the forthcoming Obi-Wan series. I don't know. I don't agree with that. This is Darth Vader, one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic villain and characters, maybe one of the most iconic characters in all of film history in the world. And if they can have all those Iron Mans up, and they can have all those Din Djarins up, and Boba Fett's, which is awesome, which he's one of my favorites. But this is Darth Vader, baby. This is Darth Vader. And I don't really care if they have a Hayden Christensen version, or a Clone Wars version, or an a couple of Obi-Wan series versions. That's not going to stop me from getting this version. To me, this is the ultimate moment. There's no reason to pause on this. And they're really not going to compete with themselves on this one Darth Vader for another one. If you get one with the Hayden Christensen head sculpt, you're going to want it and you're going to want this too. And whether they give it to you in a 2-pack, both of those, or they box them individually, this is going to be a figure that not all, but many collectors, such as myself, are not going to pass on. And there's not going to be a time where I'm sitting down on my spreadsheet going, which Vader am I going to get? I'm going to get them both. I might have to not get another figure, but there's no way I'm passing on this. And I think Hot Toys knows that. For many collectors, they're going to feel the same way. I really feel like this is coming. Fast. Real fast, for sure. Some of these other figures that we can look at on here. Let's take a look at this K2SO. So still trending down, but not trending down the same way that it was. It's starting to go up a little bit as it trends down. The reason why it's going that way is because it was so high. But you can see back here from October 17th, $506. Not including shipping, not including taxes. So I think that this figure, at the end of the day, could sail back up towards the $600 tier range. But I do think this particular, I don't know if it's going to be this character, K2SO. I actually do think it's going to be K2SO. I think we're going to see K2SO again in some future upcoming content. And sometimes, Star Wars, they want to surprise people. They're not going to tell you everything. So don't believe everything you heard that this character is not in the Andor series yet, because they could be trying to slip a fast one by you. If you knew everybody that was going to be in every single show or every movie, there would be no element of surprise. And they rely on that a little bit to really, sand and buff that fan service, for sure. let's go ahead and go back to Sideshow. And let's get into some waitlist alerts and some possibilities of what could come out. And bringing this back up onto the screen, and you can see that I have it sorted out best-selling wise, everything. And look at Rex again. Rex right now, number 4, everything. Waitlist full on Venom. It's going to pass that. And I do believe that this Carnage, it's going to be number 1. But let's just go to Star Wars, where it is number 1. I already gave you a yellow alert on Rex. I'm giving you a yellow alert on this Death Watch Mandalorian. They just did not make that many of these at all. Probably not as much as the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, and that hit waitlist before it ever got in stock. And the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, even after the great reviews, and that is a fine figure, the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. That is you can see right here. It's just, I just love this figure. But going back to this Death Watch Mandalorian, Heavy Infantry was just never this high. This is going real quick, fast, in a hurry. Do I give it a yellow alert? Do I give it a red alert? I actually give this one a red alert because I don't think it's going to last through the end of the year. 501sts. Yellow alert because I also think that these are going to be gone. Certainly before the end of February, these will be gone. For sure. Possibly earlier. And with Rex right now, and you got Ahsoka coming out, forget about the other Clone Wars figures. These are going to be gone. Lando, come on, Qui-Gon Jinn was never this high. So it's not going to stay in stock as long as Qui-Gon Jinn. And they probably made less than this than Qui-Gon Jinn. Certainly much higher than the Incinerator Trooper ever was. Could it be in here as long as the Incinerator Trooper? 3.5 months? Sure. Sure. You gonna have all these other figures, though? Within the secondary market that, you know, like this one, that are going to be like so high, and then Lando's going to be up there, and he's not going to rise like all the Leias. This Lando's just going to be low. Look, I'm putting a red alert on Lando Calrissian. Why red? It's definitely going to sell out. But I think it's going to go through the roof within the secondary market. And it's not going to be one of these figures where you're just going to be able to get for a very long time at a bargain. It's a lot of collectors like myself needed this figure in their collection, just being honest. They didn't make very many of these. And the red alert basically is that this is going to be selling out soon. And if you wanted it and you're just thinking it's going to be available for a long time, it's going to rise really high. Not like that Rex that quick, but it could actually. It's just it's going to be gone in a flash. Red alert. How about the best car Mandalorians? Green alert. Green alert, not red or yellow. We got a green on those best cars. Wow. Wow. You get free shipping, actually, right now on the Mandalorian and the Child. We'll see how long they lasted there. Coruscant Guard. Yellow alert. It's in stock. I say it's out of stock by end of the year. Certainly by January. Short Trooper. I don't know. Not many of these. Yellow Alert. Yellow Alert. It's not going to be in stock here very long. Ahsoka. It's going to be very interesting with Ahsoka. It hasn't even come out yet. Is it going to be available just in Hong Kong first? Is it going to be available in Hong Kong and the rest of the world and Sideshow at the same time? I don't know. Does that mean anything about the production numbers on this? Not necessarily. It could. If they wind up releasing it simultaneously, does that automatically mean they didn't make a whole lot of these? No, not necessarily. Here's what I think they did with the Ahsoka. Especially because you got the other Ahsokas that are coming out. I think that they made, certainly is to fill in everything that they have on pre-order, to fulfill all the pre-orders. And I think that they made a certain amount after, additionally, to the pre-orders, estimating. But I don't think that they made an over amount to sit in stock with the other Ahsoka looming. As a matter of fact, I think that they may have produced this to the T on the current pre-orders. Is it possible that with this Ahsoka, that's really the delay? And not the delay of anything to do with the head sculpt. Is it possible? And I say, yes. I really think that they're going to produce this to the amount that they have on pre-order, with only some available beyond that. But why Aries? Because the other Ahsoka is coming. And there were a lot of collectors that canceled their pre-order on this because they wanted the Rosario Dawson one. Not me, I'm getting both. But there are some that did that. And I think that Hot Toys and Sideshow, and they all know that they don't want these just sitting in stock when the Ahsoka Tano from The Mandalorian is available. For a couple of reasons. Number one, they wouldn't be able to get rid of the rest of these. Number two, if these aren't selling out, while many of us diehards as we're not going to be affected, sometimes if something's not in demand because it's not selling, they're thinking the character's not selling, and it can be subconsciously like, I don't need to jump on that Rosario Dawson one. And you say, how can you think that? It's a marketing thing. It could happen. You want to get rid of this. You want to show demand. They would love this to be high in the secondary market, actually, before that Rosario Dawson one gets released, to be honest with you. So, is it possible that the delay with that is they're just making sure that they're making just the right amount? Come on. And I think that figure, how much is it going to sell? Well, I don't know. How many 501st are people buying, and how long has that been in the top 4 now? How good is Rex doing? Are you kidding me? Before this gets released, the Dark Jedi puts a yellow alert on this Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano. Don't forget this broke the internet. It really, really did. Let's go below it. Armor. Not going to be in there long. It's an exclusive. It's a Mandalorian. Yellow alert. It's not going to make it past February. Probably not till the end of the year. Kylo Ren gone by before the end of the year. Surprised it's not gone already, actually. Clone Wars Maul, it's going to be in there about as much as long as the Solo Maul was, which is not very long. What was that, 2 months? Month and a half? They didn't make that many of these. They're probably making as much of this as that. And yeah, you'd be like, well, what about all the troopers and stuff? They got to cut. It was just in the same spot. They're just not. I just think that I put a yellow alert on that Maul before it gets released too. Boba Fett 2-pack. I love talking about this. So here's the thing with this, and I've heard it from a lot of collectors, that this was the moment that really, really meant something to them. Let me drink some off-world Jawa egg juice. I've got collectors telling me that the moment it gets released, they're just going to pay whatever and have it shipped in from overseas. Even if it gets shipped here at the same time, it doesn't matter. I got to have it that second. That's how much in demand this is going to be. And it's a good price. $500 is basically, $250 a figure for what these come with. This is fantastic. It's a good deal. It's still $500. This is another thing. This is another situation that is very similar to the Ahsoka. And they're going to come out with a lot more Bobas. And I don't think that they're going to want this sitting, especially the 2-pack version, sitting in stock while you get the throne version that's going to come out. I think with the 2-pack version, they're going to make, as much as there's pre-orders for, they're going to make some after it for sure. Only a certain amount, because at $500 a pop they're selling it for, and who knows how much Sideshow or them they're getting. There's going to be only so much they're going to keep in stock for themselves on that figure. Boba Fett by himself, I think the scenario you're going to see here is a lot of times you get the non-deluxe version of a figure that can go on waitlist for the other version, which is probably what's going to happen with that Beskar Mandalorian. But I think it's going to be the opposite here. I think you're going to get the 2-pack. It's going to be gone. You're going to have the regular single version of Boba Fett available. It's really going to cause a stir that you can't get Boba Fett with the robes. Just that alone is going to cause a stir in the secondary market. I'm telling you with this figure is I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be storing bricks with these. I don't think they're making as many as we think. And I think that's why it's coming out early. And I put a red alert on this particular figure. The 2-pack version anyway. Don't sleep on it, baby. You heard it here from 6 Scale Cantina. Just a feeling. Don't sleep on that. Credit to my man Dante from the Man of Hot Collectibles, who originally first called out some peculiarities with that 2-pack of Boba. Jango Fett. I don't know. You would think because this is Jango Fett and it's a character that is very important, that they're just going to make a lot. I mean, right? That's what you would think, right? They're going to make a lot of these because it's Jango Fett. Oh, they're going to make a lot. It's Jango. Howard Chan doesn't really think of it that way. Hong Kong, they don't think of it that way. They're like, who's Jango Fett? Oh, there was prequels? They're really into Star Wars. This is a Mandalorian. And I think it's way down on the list. And I think that this is one of those figures that has regret all over it, because you're not going to have Fett, this Jango Fett. There's so many Boba Fetts. And they don't stay in stock. You're not going to have Jango Fett. You're not going to have Boba's dad sitting in stock. Yellow alert. Remember, I've talked about it the last few shows. Quick releases, more releases, shorter runs. Just because they're coming out with them, they're not going to be coming out with so many of these, and they don't want to be stuck. I mean, I'm going to pull this up onto the screen. They don't want to be stuck giving away free shipping to get to give things away. There's no reason for Sideshow to be doing this with this, the Mandalorian Deluxe trial. They lose money on this, and they're not in the business of losing money. Well, they have no control over that areas. Yes, they do. They have control over it. Don't kid yourself. Why do you think that they're making so many changes right now? You're seeing unboxings, like reviews. You're seeing things be available at the same time. You don't think that they look at the numbers and they look at the books and they say, look, we don't want to make this mistake again. I know it's the Mandalorian, but we don't want them sitting in stock, and I certainly don't want to be forced to get rid of them, giving away limited time offer free shipping. You think they want to do that? With Jango Fett, you think they want to do that with the $500, the $495 Boba Fett 2-pack? Look, this is what I'm getting at here. I put a lot of thought into this to give you some of these theories. And from a business perspective, it makes absolutely zero sense to have a 2-pack, $495, sitting in stock so long because they made so many, so they could go ahead and give free shipping on there too. Oh, they don't care about that. They only care about putting out unboxings and getting it shipped the same. They care about money. You can't look at the way they operated pre-COVID. That's like I told you. You can't listen to what Howard Chan said before pre-COVID. Oh, I'm so glad we're done with the sequels. He'll never come out with a Darkside Rey. Yeah, he will. Especially if it's low investment. It's all about the money, and they got to make some of it right now. I'm telling you, you heard it from 6 Scale Cantina. They're not going to be having those 2-pack Boba Fett sitting in stock. Not going to happen. They're not going to be doing that with that Clone Wars Ahsoka. It's not going to happen. Especially when the other Ahsoka comes out. They're probably praying that they can get rid of these Beskar Mandalorians before the chrome-plated one comes out. Because then no one will buy it. Do the math. I could tell you, I'm putting a red alert on the Tuscan Raider. Because I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't think they made a lot. And I know it's a grunt, but not really a grunt. What do you mean by that, Aries? I mean, I don't think you can look at this like Troopers. I really don't. The amount of detail that they put in this Tuscan Raider when you look at the reviews and look at the final production photos. Original 12 back. Original 12 Star Wars. One of the original 12 Star Wars figures ever to come out. Yeah, and some people are passing on it because they need Clone Wars Maul and they need Clone Wars Anakin. But then there's going to be people who don't need Clone Wars Maul and Clone Wars Anakin because they never watched the Clone Wars and they don't care about it. But they watch the original trilogy and they watch the prequels. They watch the Mandalorian and they care about this. I mean, episode 1 was out of this world, baby. These Tuscan Raiders with Timothy Oliphant, Din Djarin. I don't know. I think that they made so little of this, it's not even funny. I don't think that they sat there and like, oh yeah, let's make a lot of these. People are just going to buy these. They're going to fly off the shelves because, that's why no one was pre-ordering them. on Sideshow. It was not far above the Jet Troopers. Let's make a ton of these. Let's make more of these than we did the Jet Troopers. I don't see it. They've certainly made less of these than the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. Is it possible that they made less than these than the Rey? I think it's possible because this was lower than Rey. This was lower than Rey and Dia. It was low. And not everybody picked up the Rey because not everybody cares about Rey. Just like a lot of people don't care about this. But a lot of people do care about it. And I know this is a Mandalorian release, but it looks like an original. It looks like a Tuscan Raider. So it's going to be good in the original trilogy collection. It's going to be good in your prequels collection. It's going to be good in your Mandalorian collection. It's going to be good in any of your Star Wars displays. And is it possible that Hot Toys is going to jump all over, giving us a different Tuscan Raider? And I say, no way. I don't think you'll ever see this again, not for a long time. I think this is your one shot to get a Tuscan Raider, baby. This is your one shot. And is this going to sit in stock for really long? No. Because of a really high demand? No. Because of really low supply. And as more reviews of this come out, people are going to like it more and more. Kind of like when the Rey reviews came out. And again, when you're looking about weathering, you can spill some coffee on it. There you go. There's weathering. I don't, like I said, I had the same initial reaction, but the more I thought about it, you just you're just gonna. They're in sand, and there's not a whole lot of water in the desert. So the outfit here is the same color as the environment, and when you blow the same dirt, that's the same color. It kind of looks the same. And when I was looking at one of these reviews already, and there are some of that effect as you go down the skirt. And I was thinking too, like, oh, what are they all like babies? They just came out, they just got this fresh out. I mean, I think because they have the crazy mask and they're sad people that, initially will think that they don't wash their clothes. I'm sure that they wash their clothes the more I thought about it. And, they're always in the sun and they're there, it matches the same thing, and it kind of looks like a Tuscan Raider. And so it started to make me feel better about it because I don't think the weathering is that big of a deal. And it kind of fits, except for that one statue that's out, which is awesome. But that's more of like an unleashed pose. It has like all kinds of stitching in the outfit and looks like it was mud wrestling and has all kinds of things in there and by a barbecue because it's all black. I mean, where are you going to get any of that here typically? But that statue is awesome looking. I'll say that. It looks like an unleashed type of thing. But, even when you take a look at some of these Tuscan Raiders. Here's a Sideshow Tuscan Raider. It's the same thing. It's just they're emulating the movies. They didn't have a whole lot of weathering on these guys. And again, because the environment is just indicative, it's the same color. It's kind of like you're dressed in green and you're playing in green paint. I don't know. It has like what it would look like to me. You know what I mean? And even the Black Series one, I'll pull it up. And it doesn't have any of the weathering. But Aries, we expect more from Hot Toys. But it's a Tuscan Raider. There's just not a whole lot of weathering on them. And I think the more I thought about it, like I said, I think it's the environment. I mean, I would see if like Tuscan Raiders were on Endor, they should have some mud. And some other stuff with all that foliage and the mud and the rain. This is like the sand. And, I'll be honest with you. I mean, the more I thought about it, it's like if I had a barrel of sand and I just poured it over a Tuscan Raider, I think after a Tuscan Raider, it takes like 10 steps. It's all going to be shaken off. It still looks the same. I don't know where the weathering is. And then I was like, well, what do they just put the fresh clothes on? Maybe they do. I mean, they don't just sit in the sand and like, I'm sure they have like a home and tent or wherever they were going in. And I'm sure that they washed their clothes. So anyway, that kind of made me feel better about the Tuscan Raider. I would still like a little more weathering to it. But the other thing is the head sculpt is specially hand painted. I didn't realize that, but that head sculpt is dope. And again, I would like a little more weathering to it, but I am okay with my own analogy, like I said, as I thought through this a little bit. And it does appear to have some weathering on it. It's going to be more noticeable in person. But the head sculpt is treated like a regular a head sculpt, not like a helmet or like a trooper type of deal. It's specially hand painted, each one, which means that each one is very unique because of that human error, which is the very cool thing about Hot Toys anyway. Usually when they're hand painting these head sculpts, it takes about 12 days, about 2 weeks, just to complete the process on the head sculpts. It's not going through a machine. Boy, and this Tuscan Raider is an original 12-back from Kenner, which means that it's one of the first 12 Star Wars figures that were ever released. So for me, yeah, this is a must-buy for me, and I just can't wait to get it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it for sure. Please go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy the content. And please go ahead and subscribe to 6 Scale Cantina. I so very much appreciate your support. Also, I will be live once again on Saturday. Saturday Night Live, 6 p.m. Eastern, again this coming Saturday. Is it possible I'll have a full panel in the house, in the cantina? And I say, yes. And maybe I'll have some spatchka. Maybe I'll have the coffee. Maybe I'll have some off-world Jawa egg juice, some wizard juice. You have to wonder. It's going to be a fun time this coming Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be Halloween Eve. Who knows what I have in store? You don't want to miss it this coming Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Also, are you following 6 Scale Cantina? Are you following me on Facebook? How about Instagram? You may want to consider doing so because I'm telling you, when that Ahsoka gets officially released, or some of these announcements come out of left field, I will be live and raw, and I may not have a whole lot of time to prepare and let you know about it. But if you follow me on those social platforms, you will know, because there's going to be some flash streams, baby, and I can't wait to go live and raw this fourth quarter. Is it possible I might be live and raw several times? And I say yes. Also, subscribe to the channel. That's another way to just get the notifications on that. So don't forget to subscribe, and all the social media links are in the video description below. And if you liked also what you watched here today, you may want to consider becoming a Cantina Insider. All you got to do is click on that little join button that is on the channel, see everything that it comes with, and if you think you could benefit from it and you like what it comes with, you may want to consider joining. Now, if you go to 6scalecantina.com, you can get a little bit of a preview of some of the videos that are available there, because when you scroll down a little bit here, as I'll show you, you'll see this little light blue box that has Cantina Insider Join Today. You can see some of the videos that are available, like this Rex unboxing. What goes into the chart? The Wizard in person. If you want to see a show hosted by the Hot Toys Wizard, that's a cool one. Look, you got the NWO, the New World Order, baby, with Grogu. What you gonna do? Yeah, what's that all about? Anyway, if that interests you, click on the little join button, see what it comes with. You may want to consider joining. Also, look what's on the left. These new 6 Scale Cantina mugs. Is it possible? You have to wonder. Yes, both of those phrases are imprinted on the right and left of these mugs. And if you have a significant other, it's like, are you watching that crazy guy from Six Scale Cantina? This may be a really good, fun gift to give them during the holidays. Just go to sixscalecantina.com. You can click on these images here, and it'll take you to the site where these are available for purchase. Anyway, I really enjoyed this episode, and I always enjoy Star Wars, Hot Toys, and talking collecting. So I can't wait to hang out with you all once again this coming Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Remember, many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. Stay thirsty, my friends.